Alright, so now we're going to talk about the sun. So if you pull this in a reading, very simply, it has to do with the idea of like childlike spontaneity, a sense of like jovial happiness. It's a very, very happy, very warm kind of card. We see this child riding on the back of a horse looking pretty happy. We see these big sunflowers and the sun in full view behind him. That's where all this other stuff leads, all this other stuff we've been talking about as far as the previous major arcana cards. So as far as the reading goes, this basically just has to do with happiness, joy, spontaneity in a positive way. Not a foolish spontaneity, but like a happy, awakened kind of spontaneity, like a childlike fascination with life. But again, like we said, or like I said about this progress through the cards, after the moon, where we talk about this long path where one learns how to use all their intuitive capacities and all of their abilities that they've picked up through this process of awakening, they eventually come to this place to realize this ultimate just happiness, this joy that comes from this path of awakening. And so even though the moon represents kind of a anxious, difficult path, and the tools that will be used in walking that path, this is kind of one of the part of the destination. It's not the end goal because we're getting there, but this is like a sense of like almost like merging with one's higher self, that becoming the Christ-like being that everyone has within them, and just being just shining your light effortlessly for everyone, and just being a really just a source of happiness for the world. Really, this is a very high level kind of energy. And so that basically covers the general overview of this card, I think. I don't want to overload people with too much symbolism. So, again, as far as the keywords go, jovial, happiness, spontaneity, childlike happiness, and interest with the world. Really just joy and warm feelings in general. So if you pull this in a reading, it's almost always a positive sign. So that pretty much covers that. We're going to get into the next card in the next video, which will be number 20. Which is the card called Judgment, and we'll get into that. So hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for following along.